to handle that a different way. Alright, so we have passed the the gates. We have almost earned our way into the hive mind. This is almost an RPG in of itself, coding. So if we've gotten here, then we might be logging in, right? So our command, we got a player name which is null, and we got a command that is, let's say it might be login. So, I'm sorry, we do need to come back here and do this, because we do need to see if the player's name is null. Because if the player name is null, then we don't want to get the room, get player. But we do want to split these things up. So we're going to do, it's going to be a little redundant, because we want to, if the player name is null, actually we don't need to, because we just want to do response is equal to hivemind dot execute new game request. We're not going to do anything with the room key. We're going to say game action is equal to game actions dot login. I think that's it. I think. Hold on. We do have to do the sender is equal to new player with the name of player name. Not super important right now. Oh, what's up? We don't actually have an exposed constructor for that, so let's do this. Name is equal to the player name we just got in. SS Stormy says, thanks for clearing that up. I really appreciate what you do. Not a problem, man. Keep the questions coming. We're gonna try to close this off at around 2 hours. So in about 10 minutes we should be wrapping up. Alright, so we assume we do need to split this. So we are kind of duping this up a little bit. And we assume that, actually no, I'm sorry, we don't need to split it up. Man, yeah, we will need to stop. My brain is not here right now. Okay. So let's just see how far this gets us. So we said that, just to kind of back it up, in our parse strategy, we've said, hey, for the command line, if we don't have a player yet, let's ask the user to log in by giving their name. Else, we'll say, hey, welcome to the game so-and-so, please enter a command. So, if it's null here, then what we've taken in is the player name. And so we check to say, okay, the player's null, so we probably got their name. So we don't actually need to do that. So we're going to pass in the name as the command. Then when it comes across the wire into our server, we're going to say, oh, is the player name null? If the player's name is null, then we don't have a player, and we need to go ahead and execute the login command. And so we're going to send in the action login with the player's name set to the command. Ooh. Now, we're entering the castle. We have gained entrance into the hive mind, where all the fun stuff happens. So let's go ahead and say case game actions dot login break. Response is equal to new game response Alright, so we're in here. And we got this get player here. We're going to move this. Oh no, so we want this to be get player by room. And then inside of our hive mind, for this guy, let's do a new private iGame object called getPlayerByName, string name. And we'll come back over to our processor. We've got some pretty good code here. So we want to say return world dot rooms. Oops. Oh, let's come back over to our this guy, because hang on, we had a better one for room. Here we go. Sorry. This is the one we want. Alright, so we're going to be using link, and it says we're going to make this first or default. Okay. So, we've got the room, so we want to get where to keep this, I guess to keep this readable by everybody else. So what we otherwise want to do is throw in a bunch of crazy selects, but I want this to stay readable by everyone at home. So let's go ahead and do this first, just so that we can track the same kind of trajectory. And then we will break it up. So, because these are actually two pretty complicated I just want something that we can talk through when the time comes. So I want this here so next time we look at it we can talk about it. But essentially I'm going into all the rooms in the world and I'm finding the one where there exists a player by this name. If there isn't one, I'm returning null. And if there is one, I'm going to go into that room and grab that player out. So we can definitely make this into a single statement, but it becomes very unreadable. And so we're going to return the player. So we come back up to this guy, and we say var player is equal to get player by name, and the player name is going to be, remember we made a new sender, that's going to be the name of that sender that comes in. And then we're going to say if player is equal to null, else we're going to put in the messages, sorry, no player by that name. And we'll say was successful is equal to false. Otherwise, we're going to just throw back the player is equal to player. And we're pretty sure it's going to be of type I player, so we're going to cast that here. Cool. Alright, getting super close. It might not even run when we're done, but we've definitely taken a really close look at a bunch of fun stuff involving the singleton pattern. Okay, so back over to this guy, we've got our renderer. So, we get a response back, and we make it a game response. And we say, if player1 dot instance is equal to null, then we know we're handling a login. Else, oh, where are you pointed? Okay. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and render out our world. So, oh, I'm sorry, hang on. Go back to hive mind for a second. Something I need to start doing. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. And all we're going to do here, just to kind of proof it out, is going to be console.writeLine welcome we're going to say this player1 dot instance is equal to game response dot player. It's giving me a little red squiggly because we never did a setter on this. So set instance is equal to value. I'm sorry, value is equal to instance. Whoa, where's my brain? Okay. Alright, now I can almost guarantee it's not going to work the first time, but we can at least wrap it up here and be proud of ourselves for all the refactoring we did. We created a new singleton and we really thought through some pretty tough stuff. So we built that. Let's open the client over here because we're going to debug one and run the other. So let's set this to start a project. Let's roll. Okay, so our server is now listening